Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy coming from you from Central Missouri, Green Pastures Farm. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the steps that I took when I first started out leasing land to maybe, help you all out a little bit when you start out on your own grazing operation, and to streamline some of the things that I've done and avoid making some of the costly mistakes that I did starting out. Before I go any further though, standing in front of the mob, beautiful morning, just moved them. It's almost the end of February, we're still grazing winter stockpile, and life is good on the farm. Before we get started, for you new subscribers out there, thank you all, and for you all that aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That just shows us some support of what we're doing here and trying to spread the word to a larger community to help other people get started. So without further ado, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, when I first started this project, it was in 1999, so when I leased my first farm. And, we were conventional. We were buying the land, we were buying the animals. And this is the little Jersey dairy. I guess she saw this bucket and thought that she might get a bite to eat. Anyway, we don't feed any animals grain, but she's coming over here to say hi to me. Anyway, the steps that I took, I had to change the way I was thinking. I didn't have to own anything to grow my operation. And I had a guy the other day send a comment, well, Greg, I'd love to do what you're doing, but I don't have any money. Folks, it doesn't take a lot of money to get started in this, because you're not buying the land, first of all. You're not buying the animals. We're talking about getting your hands on some land, leasing it, and then leasing out your farm to other people to graze. They call that custom grazing. So you have control of those animals. In other words, you rotate the animals around that farm. You make sure they have water. She's trying to pull the hat off my head. Anyway, I think it's a huge advantage starting out not to tie up all your money into equity. And so, I went through a tough time, folks. In 1999, I was right in the middle of a 6-year divorce. I was just almost sunk, okay? I didn't see a real bright future for my farm. I still owed debt on our farm. I was trying to pay it off, the house, and I had a job in town. And it's a good thing that I did have that job in town. It really helped, pay some of the bills. But I'll tell you what, I never ever gave up on my dream. And folks, you've got to write your dream down. Write it down on a piece of paper, okay? Okay, keep it on you. Keep it on you all the time. Have it on your bathroom mirror. Have it in your pickup truck or your car when you get in. There it is, taped on your dash. Always keep focused on your dream. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do this. Because folks, I did. I had people tell me that I was an idiot. One guy got right up in my face and said, you don't have a prayer of making this work. You don't own any land, you don't have any money, you don't have any livestock. He said, heck, you don't even own a tractor. He said, you are dead, you are sunk. And I used that as energy to go home and actually, it just propelled me forward. So take that negative comments as inspiration and go out and do something with it, okay? You can't own anything. I'm not talking about that. You don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff. You don't need an ATV. You don't need a brand new pickup. You don't need a tractor. You don't need a mower, a rake, baler, all this stuff that just consumes capital that you could be using to buy these, okay? That's how we grew this herd, was from other people's money. So we grazed other people's livestock, used that money, put it in a nice little nest egg, and when it built up some revenue, we'd go buy 10 or 12 more of these cows, okay? And then we got enough cows, we just built the herd internally. We started keeping back the best heifers. And you know what? It doesn't take too long. Once I got earnest about it, that was 1999. Folks, I quit my job in town in 2009, 10 years. So I paid off all the debt, had all the cows owned. I don't have a debt. I didn't have a bank note on anything. When you start doing things right and focusing on the grass, get you some fence out there, develop some water, You know, that night, that guy told me I didn't have a chance. I went home and I leased another farm. I got a 40 acres that nobody wanted it. Didn't have any water on it, didn't have any fence. But you know what? It had a water meter on it. I saw that water meter and I'm like, you know what? I can get water to those animals. And I know how to build fence. We put high tensile fence on it. I got a 6-year lease on it. And I put that meter in, and guess what I started grazing? I started grazing bucking horses for the rodeo. It was that time of year you couldn't find any cattle, so I took horses. And you know, over a period of time, I went from not having any income. Those horses went on there. I started getting $1,000 a month for grazing other people's bucking horses. So that 40 acres started producing $1,000 a month for me. Well, from there, I generated that, and I went on into cattle later on. But you do what you got to do. I grazed bucking horses. Okay, I didn't know anything about bucking horses. I learned a lot. Those rodeo guys, they're a different breed, man. But I tell you what, it was a charge. It was a charge, and I wouldn't take anything for that experience. Well, I guess what I'm saying is you've got to be willing to do whatever it takes to get you over that hump. And you're going to get smacked in the face. You're going to tell people's going to tell you you're nuts, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, why are you wasting your time? Why don't you just give them the whole farm? And folks, don't do that. These animals were put on here this morning. We got 4 moves off this bottom down here by using polywire. So move them, rotating them, learn how to graze grass. If you don't know how, you know, heck, look at my videos. I got over 290 videos after showing you how to do some of this stuff. And we're going to continue going forward, covering more subjects as the year goes along. But folks, it's a wonderful journey. It's a wonderful life. I wouldn't take anything for it. And folks, I'm not the only one in America that can do this. There's a whole bunch of you out there wanting to do it. Okay, you can do this. You really can, but you've got to stay focused. You don't need to be taking expensive vacations. Turn off the TV, maybe even sell the darn thing. Learn how to graze. Get out and get you a small lease. It doesn't have to be 100 acres or 50. Get you 5 acres, 10. Learn at a small scale how to manage livestock, how to manage grass, and then you can grow your business. But by all means, you shouldn't be slave to a land payment the rest of your life. We're buying farms now, or the cattle are, but I didn't start out doing that. When these cows generate enough money in the land account, when we sell, we put a little bit in the land account, they buy another farm. That's what we're doing. So we're keeping the bank out of it. We don't have interest payments. It's all self-supported by this cow herd behind us. Folks, you all can do this. I know you can do it, but you've got to learn the correct procedures and techniques. And don't go out and spend a lot of money on infrastructure. And that's some of the mistakes that I made early on, is I put in a whole lot of paddocks, okay? Permanent paddocks all through the farms. Don't do that. Get your farm fenced. Get the perimeter fence. Use poly, this temporary fencing, until you learn how to graze, until you learn how the animals graze the farm, because you may put in a bunch of fence and water points, and they're not where you want them. So you spent all that money for nothing. I made some of those mistakes. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'd even recommend, you know, we got a second grazing school coming up. If you have time, come to it. Go to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net. It's coming up the end of May. First one sold out, but I tell you what, we cover all the steps I'm talking about here. And to get off to a good start, folks, you really need to adhere to that practice. It is a great life. And folks, I'm going to end with that. I'm going to get out here and enjoy my cows this morning. It's a beautiful morning, into February almost. Cattle are feeding themselves. Everybody else is feeding hay. It's a great life, folks. This is where it's at. You all have a great day, and I'm going to sign off. Thank you all.